Hello everyone, my name is Kshitij Ghanekar. Today we are going to discuss on this fabulous car that is the Cadillac ELR. It is a series hybrid vehicle which was launched in USA and Canada by General Motors. Let's see more about this. These are few terms that you are going to come across in this presentation. First one is EPA. It is the United States Environmental Protection Agency. They decide the standards and they verify what tests have been conducted and are they in regulation or are they violating some of their laws. The second is MSRP. It is manufacturer's suggested retail price. MSRP doesn't always have to be what is charged for to the public. There can be markups as well as markdowns in this. You may know CVT, it is continuously variable transmission. It is mostly used in our mopeds and also in EVs, which you are going to see. The curb weight. It is the weight of the vehicle, including a full fuel of tank and all standard equipment. So it is literally the weight of the car, which is waiting for you on the curb, with no passengers and no cargo. The other thing that the United States loves is using gallons instead of liters. So the conversion is given 1 gallon is equal to 4.546 liters, and thus their mileage comes in mpg, which is miles per gallon. So 1 mile is 1.6 kilometers and 1 gallon is 4.546 liters. So let's begin. The Cadillac ELR was produced by General Motors. The basic concept of this car came from the Cadillac Converge. It was demonstrated at the 2009 North American International Show. Uh, if you have kept track of US history, what happened in 2008 was that the housing market crashed. Due to that, US underwent a phase of recession. So when the car was announced in 2009, General Motors was already shaky. At the end of 2009, it deteriorated so much that they applied for bankruptcy, which caused extreme delays to the future of this car. The GM company was bailed out by the United States government and they came back in business in around 2012 or something. And this is one of the major car that helped them get back their status. They started production in 2013 and sold only about 10 to 20 units as a trial, like proof of concept. Uh, it was officially launched in 2014 as the Cadillac ELR 2014 model with an MSRP of $75,000, which was high even in those days. The basic dimensions of this vehicle are that it has a wheelbase of 2695 mm, a length of 4724 mm, a width of 1847 mm, a height of 1420 mm, and a curb weight of 1846 kg. The powertrain that is used is taken from the Voltec. The Voltec powertrain became famous when it was used in the Chevrolet Volt car. So they have used a modified version of the same powertrain. It has a 1400 cc engine, which is the EcoFlux LUU i4. That is, there are 4 cylinders in line. So they also have the CVT transmission, which means there is a constantly variable transmission, not a single gear ratio or something. It has a multi-mode electric transaxle. Naturally, the drivetrain that we have selected is a series hybrid. So the ELR is also a series hybrid. Uh, it was launched in 2 years, first was 2014, the second was 2016. They modified the battery in the 2016 version of the car. The 2014 version had a 16.5 kilowatt hours of battery. Both were lithium ion batteries, and it was upped to 17.1 kilowatt hours in 2016. The range of this car, which is verified by the EPA, as we said, the Environmental Protection Agency of the United States, the range is claimed to be 340 miles, which is around 550 kilometers. There have been surveys that on an average, a car which can go 450 kilometers without charging is more than enough for the four-wheeler market. So they offered a range of 550, which is even better. The all-electric range, that is when we don't use the IC engine at all, it for the 2014 model came out to be 37 miles. And when they increased the battery pack, it came to be 39 miles in 2016. This was also again verified by the EPA. So the suspension system. So Cadillac is a two-door, four-seater luxury plug-in HEV, and the major part of the luxury comes using advanced suspension techniques. They have used a hyper strut for the front suspension, while the rear axle has the Watt Link suspension. Both of these advanced suspension and steering technologies provide responsive dynamics, and that is exactly what drivers expect from Cadillac. It has the usual features like power steering. Next, so as I said, they've used the modified version of the Voltaic propulsion system. So this is the overview of the Voltaic propulsion system. We have an electrical propulsion system here, and we have an IC engine over here. So this part is the IC engine. Better use a pen. Yeah. So this part is the IC engine, and this part is the electrical propulsion. We'll see more about that in the next slide. It is a lot similar to an e-axle. It is a front wheel drive car. So everything that we have here is the front axle. Yeah, so the electric drive unit, which is an interesting part, they have used two motors for the same drive unit. There is one low power motor here, and there is another a little bit higher power motor here. And what they have used is they have used a proper ECU to balance out their output whenever required, and this is the connection to the battery. So it is a series hybrid. What happens on a series hybrid is that the engine will consume the fuel from the fuel tank to power a generator, which in turn will either charge the battery or give power to the electric motor, and both the connections go through this. The next part, it is the range extender, or in simple terms, the IC engine. These series hybrid EVs are also called as EREV, that is extended range EV. So this is the major part that helps in extending range. It is a 1400 cc engine, 1.5 liters engine, and it has a 41 miles per gallon rating, that is combined on city and highway both, like an average. So 41 miles per gallon is the mileage of this engine. The complete assembly has been cast in aluminium. The estimated charging time they have using their 120 volt travel adapter, which is the voltage they get at their home, is around 12 to 18 hours. but it comes down to about 5 hours when charged at a charging station using a 240-volt charger. So if the car was to be launched in India, then the charging time will get reduced to around 8 hours or something, because we already have 240 volts in our house. The fuel tank for the IC engine we saw in the last slide is 9.3 gallons. Now, what happened with the car was that GM was just coming out of bankruptcy. So in 2013, they made only 10 sales. They didn't even create more than that. They made almost 20 cars, but they sold 10 of them. And the 10 users liked the car well. So it was officially launched in 2014 as the Cadillac ELR 2014 model, where they total sold around 1,354 cars. The next year, the number dropped to around 1,049 cars, and the Cadillac ELR 2016 model was launched, and it didn't get that better response, and the total sales were 545 for 2016. So, in history, this car has only 2,958 models pieces left theoretically. This car was discontinued in 2016, but this can be called as the pioneer, which started the GM HEV series, and when now they are migrating to purely EVs. The car had a lot of different features which weren't present in their competitors, which gave this car edge over the competition. The first one was adaptive cruise control. So it is not autopilot, but it is autopilot. So when you're at cruising speed or when you're on a highway, the car can automatically detect the surroundings and can make minor modifications to your steering and to your acceleration as per needed. So this car will come to a stop if the car in front of you stops. That was the height of their that was the limit of their adaptive cruise control. And if you raise your accelerator again, the car starts moving again. Another feature that it has is regen on demand. Regen means regenerative braking. So they actually had an option to turn regenerative braking on and off. So if you are worried about your efficiency more, you can turn on regen, and the transition was smooth. Whatever the excess energy is created by the motor can actually be used to recharge the battery to some extent. That is regenerative braking. And the next feature that they have was rain sense. This is now seen in most of the cars. So rain sense, that it can sense when it's raining and how heavy the rain is, turn on the wipers accordingly. So if it starts drizzling, the wipers will start at speed 1, and according to how heavy the rain is, it can actually change the speed of the wipers without you having to click that button on and off. Also, then it had a lane change alert. So imagine if you're driving on a highway and everything is smooth, and slowly you start drifting into other lanes. Now, if there is no traffic, that's all right. But if there is traffic, it is advisable to drive in a single lane. So when you are over a lane line, it had a beeper and a light inside, which may be annoying to some people, but it was useful. Another thing it has intelligent headlights. So they actually detected the ambient light outside the car, and the headlights could turn on, increase brightness, and could switch between high beam and low beam according to requirements. Of course, there were manual controls, but having this automated gave the users a better experience. The one thing that the users have liked the most about this car, all those 2,950 odd people, is that it had rare cross traffic alert and parking assist. So imagine if you have parked in between two cars and you have to reverse out into oncoming traffic. So it actually had sensors at the rear of the car which will indicate if there is a vehicle coming from the left or right across the road which you are trying to reverse into. It has sensors in the front, in the rear, and at the sides, which provide excellent assist for parking. Like parallel parking was a big deal, but it has eased due to this feature which is available. The electronic cup holder is a useful device. It can heat your cup, and it's a nice accessory to have. The big thing which GM introduced is the Q system. Q means Cadillac User Experience. So it is like what Tesla is using right now, but a bit primitive version of that. Uh, it had a touchscreen on the dashboard, which helps you in doing region on demand, or if check whether you have adaptive cruise control, and the parking light, parking assist sensors, and the rear cross traffic alerts. Everything was integrated into the queue system. The queue system carried on forward, and it is still found in most of the Cadillacs that you will ever encounter. Uh, One more thing which was in the Cadillac ELR is there was a hidden compartment under the queue system. So when you remove the panel of the queue screen, there is a compartment inside which can fit your phone or your wallet, and as well as there is a charger inside. So they have considered everything about user comfort and what a user wants. So customer satisfaction for all Cadillac vehicles was very high. So the last thing that it provided was power startup. So we don't have to actually turn the key to start the car. We have a power button which can help with ignition. The one drawback or the one thing that the users were not satisfied about this car was that it had two doors and four seats. So all the focus was on the front two passengers. The leg space and the comfort for the rear two was slightly ignored by them. Of course, GM then patched it up in the next versions, but this is what Cadillac ELR left as a legacy. So it ended production on February 18th, 2016. It announced a range of cars, and the immediate successor of Cadillac ELR was the CT6 sedan. It was a new plug-in hybrid version, and this car actually blew up, not literally but figuratively speaking. This had more than 60,000 cars in sale over a course of 4 years, whereas the Cadillac, over a course of 3 years maybe, had only 2,800. So, what Cadillac started had now become a movement. So, the CT6 is also a very nice car, you can say, but that's where we end on the summary of the Cadillac ELR. Thank you.